Welcome to Daniel's Inferno. My name is Daniel. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have a moment, please like, subscribe, share, join the conversation below because I'd love to hear from you. So today's video is a small update on the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. It seems that the Daily Mail got their hands on more recordings or had the recordings and are releasing them slowly. However, there is new audio that has been leaked, about an hour's worth of it actually. And I'd like to just talk a bit about the continuation of the Amber Heard lies versus Johnny Depp. Now, if you watched my last video, you probably got the feeling in the sense that I feel very strongly on this subject, and I do. Um, and I actually, I hate when people, I hate it to my core when people spout the belief that men can't be abused, or that men can't be sexually assaulted, or that men can't. It's the same when people say that you can't be racist against a white person. It's absurd. Of course you can't be. You can be racist against any person. Any individual can be subject to violence very clearly. And the fact that we even need to explain this is a sorry state for our society, in my opinion. So, Amber Heard, she says, see how many people believe you. She scoffs at Johnny Depp for claiming he's a domestic abuse victim, suggesting court would take her side because she's a slender woman. Now, I'm only going to play a little bit of the audio. We're going to read through the article a bit, and there isn't much on Twitter on this because of what's going on in terms of the Iowa caucus results finally got released for the Democrats. There was the Trump acquittal. He had his speech, and the National Prayer Breakfast was this morning. So politically, there has been quite a lot going on, and that's been taking up most of the news cycle today. One of the things I want to point out here, because you won't hear it in the audio that I play, is something that Johnny Depp says to her, and it's very heart wrenching that he has to say this to her. He so people are going up to his kid, I guess, at school, and saying, "quote Your dad's an effing wife, like a woman abuser." That's terrible. That's just terrible. Leave the kids out of it, guys. Anybody who whose parents might have children who know Johnny Depp's children, come on, you let's teach them a bit better than this. And yes, I understand kids are monsters. Kids are just horrific monsters a lot of the time. I do understand that. Amber Heard ridicules Johnny Depp for claiming he's a victim, telling the Pirates of the Caribbean actors, see how many people believe you. The estranged couple were barred from talking to one another in May 2016 when Heard filed for divorce and sought a restraining order. But the pair continued to clash over the phone, arguing bitterly about who was responsible for the blood-curdling violence that marred their toxic 15-month relationship. It's unclear if Heard realizes she is being taped during the exploitative Flecked 30-minute recording, the second bombshell audio released exclusively by Daily Mail in the space of the week. So Johnny Depp says this: "You're effing killing me. Your effing people are trying to kill me." He begs Amber Heard to go through private mediation rather than thrashing things out in open court. "You've turned me into a my boy goes to school and has kids go to, so your effing dad's a wife beater." Tearful, Heard denies pushing Depp under a bus and accuses the actor's associates of circulating details to the press of her arrest record and lurid rumors she was a stripper. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past friends of Johnny's to, try to take retribution for him. Obviously, when you have someone who cares about you, they're going to do things that may not be what you wanted or may not be the most wise or the most moral. But I'm going to say this: when it comes to divorce, it's between the two individuals. It should be dealt with in court or through mediation. That is why those tools exist. And any evidence, any testimony you want to give, if it's abusive, if there's anything untoward that happened, that's your prerogative. But to leak details, to try to gaslight someone or throw them under a bus. Any of these tactics are just wrong. And obviously, abusing your partner, either a woman abusing the man or a man abusing the woman, not acceptable, not appropriate. Sorry, my cat's hungry. Apparently, he wants his lunch, I think. The 33-year-old actress also rejects accusations that she initiated the wild physical violence that she pinned on Depp in divorce papers, suggesting a court would be unlikely to take the side of a man over a slender female. So, as I said, we're just going to listen to 10, 15 seconds of this.
Yes. It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if for fair fight my ass.
Exactly, because you're bigger and you're stronger. And so when I say that I thought you could kill me, that doesn't mean you counter with you also that you lost your own finger. I am not trying to attack you here. I'm just trying to point out the fact of why I said call 911. Because you had your hands on me after you threw a phone in my face, and it got crazy in the past, and I truly thought I need to stop this madness before I get hurt.
Oh my God.
And I never think about my.
So, I just wanted to. I know I said just 10, 15, but I wanted you to hear where Johnny was so exasperated and says, "Oh my God." I apologize for not saying language ahead of time. There were a few swear words said. Nothing crazy, though. Do you know I'm 115, well, not anymore, but I was a 115 pound, almost 115 pound woman, heard protest, adopting a jeering tone. She says, "You're going to get up on the stands, Johnny, and say you started it, really?" They spoke several times on the phone throughout June and July of 2016, skirting the restraining order by having a family member initiate the calls. Heard would ultimately yield to Depp's pleas to settle out of court, retracting her allegations the following month. It was so everything seemed fine, but the truce crumbled December 2018 when Heard penned her op-ed for the Washington Post, lamenting her experiences as an alleged domestic abuse victim, though never naming anyone. She's currently dating her new girlfriend, Bianca Beauty, okay? Depp responds to Heard's op-ed last year with a $50 million defamation suit. So this is all stuff we already knew. So when it comes to what's going on, am I saying that Johnny is innocent? Absolutely not. I'm not trying to suggest that or imply that in any which way. But I am trying to say that the evidence that's been provided as of so far that we know of shows that Amber Heard initiated and was the violent individual. So when it comes to that phone call where she claims that Johnny threw a phone in her face, we're just going to go down to the bottom here. So Depp was accused of hurling cell phone in Heard's face at their downtown Los Angeles loft, but two LAPD officers later said in a deposition that they found nothing to suggest a crime took place. So the police went, and according to them, nothing happened. So we know Amber Heard lied or bended the truth at the very least in her op-ed. According to the police deposition, we know that she lied about having a cell phone thrown in her face. Or at the very least, it didn't happen the way that she claimed. I understand men are much bigger and stronger, but if you're getting attacked viciously, like, are you going to stand there or are you going to try to stop it? Like, put your hands on their shoulders, kind of keep them back, maybe push them away from you a bit. You know, you need to get out of that situation when it's violent. And if that means you have to try to, like, grab their hands to try to stop them from hitting you, obviously don't hurt them, but don't let yourself be abused either. Get out of the situation. Make sure someone else is there who can corroborate your story. Do not allow the idea to be continued. Do not let this stereotype to be continued that men can't be abused. And the more that we don't speak out about things like this, Amber Heard lying, then the more it continues. And it has been a continued pattern we see Just like with male feminists, how a lot of them turned out to be predators or predatorial in nature. Not all Me Too, not even 50%, but there has been a pattern that women can make these accusations, ruin a man's life, and then when the accusation is proved false, no one cares. That's not news. And I have a quick example here, and it's actually a really good example. So here in Ontario, the province that I live, there was a politician named Patrick Brown, and that individual uh, was going to run for premier. He got slandered, and a girl claimed that he got handsy, way too much so, and it blew up his career as a provincial politician. When it turned out that this wasn't true, no, nothing happened. Nothing came from it. He didn't, a lot of us who supported him originally still support him. And I wish him well. I know what he's doing, and he's doing quite well. But he was denied an opportunity that very clearly would have gone to him. Our current Premier of Ontario is Doug Ford. Before Doug Ford, Patrick Brown was the candidate to run against Kathleen Wynne's Liberals here in Ontario. The Kathleen Wynne Liberals were so unpopular that someone could have ran a stick as a candidate and it would have beaten her. Okay? People despised that woman. And he was denied this opportunity. And I think he was denied an opportunity to really make a difference to the province in which I live. And it's really unfortunate that these lies can torpedo someone, and that when the truth vindicates them, doesn't actually really vindicate or right the wrong of what's happened. And I understand life isn't fair. I do know that. Trust me, I do. A lot better than a lot of people. But the truth should the truth should set you free. And the truth should be what is important. Facts are important. We cannot allow lies to continue to debase how we see things. We cannot allow lies to continue running the narrative. We must allow truth and facts to run the narrative. No more emotion, no more lies, facts. And in this case, as I said earlier, the facts show Johnny Depp, so far, has not committed the abuses that Amber Heard claims. There is no corroborating evidence to show that he did these things. There is plenty of corroborating evidence, as well as her own words, to show Amber Heard was very abusive. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm Daniel's Inferno.